You ever get that, like, existential thought about, life and death? Where's the line, right? Well, what if I told you it might be blurrier than we think? We're diving into some research about what scientists are calling a third state, something beyond our traditional view of life and death, and it's really making us rethink what cells are capable of. We're talking about cells functioning even after an organism has died.
It really challenges our understanding, doesn't it? This isn't just some sci-fi concept either.
Absolutely not. This is happening in labs right now. Professor Peter Noble at the University of Washington, his research published in Physiology, that's where all this is coming from. Basically, what they're finding is that certain cells, under specific conditions, can keep going even after the organism they came from has, well, passed on. We're talking about supplying these cells with nutrients, oxygen, even using bioelectricity, and they don't just survive, they seem to switch gears.
It is remarkable. This cellular resilience is something we're just starting to grasp.
Exactly, and get this, they're calling some of these cellular formations Xenobots.
Mm-hmm.
Xenobots, like something out of, well, you'd think a movie, right?
They've definitely caused a stir.
No kidding. So picture this, right? You've got skin cells, frog embryo skin cells, to be precise. Now, these cells, they come from an embryo that's no longer. But instead of just, giving up the ghost themselves, these cells decide, hey, let's build something.
It's as if they've been holding out on us. Like there's this hidden potential within these cells just waiting for the right moment to emerge.
They form these new structures and hold on to your hats, these structures, these Xenobots. They can move using cilia, these little hair-like things on their surface.
And the fascinating thing is, they never did that when the frog was alive.
It's like they woke up with a new skill set. And it's not just frog cells. Human lung cells are getting in on the action too, forming what they're calling Anthrobots. It's like a microscopic repair crew, these Anthrobots, moving around, fixing themselves, even showing potential to help damaged neurons nearby. Seriously, it's like watching cells act like microscopic robots, doing things we never thought possible.
And the real mystery is how. How are they doing this? What's going on at that cellular level?
Right, like what's the secret sauce?
Well, it seems like the cell membrane, that outer layer, it's acting like a complex circuit, sending signals, keeping things running, even without the original organism.
So it's not just random, it's coordinated.
Exactly. A level of cellular communication and adaptation we never fully appreciated. And it's not just one factor, it's a whole bunch of things working together. Temperature, available energy, even the age of the organism the cells came from, and the species, it all seems to play a role in whether they transition into this third state.
It's like they've got this whole other mode we're just discovering. So, imagine the possibilities here. If we could figure out this whole third state thing, really unlock it, could we use it for, medical stuff?
Oh, absolutely. The potential medical applications are huge. Think about those Anthrobots we were just talking about, little lung cell repair crews.
Yeah. Imagine using those, but designed from your own cells. Delivering drugs precisely where they need to go, no more worries about your body rejecting them.
Like having a tiny, personalized medical team, but microscopic. Exactly. And think about the possibilities, right? Targeting plaque in arteries, that's a big one.
Heart disease, yeah, that's a biggie.
Or what about cystic fibrosis? Using Anthrobots to clear out that thick mucus? People could breathe easier? The applications are really remarkable.
It's mind-blowing when you think about it. But it does make you wonder. I mean, these cells are doing all this after death, right? So where does that leave our whole definition of life and death? It's got to be more complicated than we thought.
It really makes you rethink things, doesn't it? That line we thought was so clear, it's looking fuzzier and fuzzier. Like maybe it's not an on-off switch, but more like a dimmer.
A dimmer switch for life and death? That's kind of wild.
It really is. And it brings up even bigger questions, doesn't it? What about consciousness? What does this mean for personal identity? Heck, even the soul. These are things philosophers have been wrestling with forever, and now science is adding a whole new dimension.
It's like our whole understanding of life is getting a rewrite. And, okay, I got to ask, right, if these cells can do all this after death, what about before? Could we, tap into that somehow to, live longer, healthier lives?
It's definitely a tantalizing thought, isn't it? I mean, we're just starting to scratch the surface here, but the possibilities are pretty incredible. Imagine being able to regenerate tissue, even whole organs, at a cellular level.
So instead of just trying to live longer, we're talking about extending the time we're actually healthy and, feeling good.
Exactly. Extending not just the lifespan, but the health span. And think about this. What if, instead of just replacing damaged parts, we could actually slow down how our cells age in the first place? Cellular reprogramming, it's a whole new frontier.
Wow. So we're talking about potentially rewriting the rules of aging.
We are. And of course, all this new knowledge about this third state, it's going to have a huge impact on how we develop drugs, how we treat age-related diseases.
It sounds like we're on the verge of a revolution in medicine. This whole deep dive has been amazing, by the way. I've learned so much, and I hope everyone listening has too. But before we go, there's one last thing I want to leave you with. Think about this. If our cells have this inherent ability to adapt, to change, even after we're gone, to do things they couldn't do before, what does that tell us about what they're capable of while we're still here? Are you just scratching the surface of what our bodies can really do? Something to think about, isn't it? This is the deep dive. Signing off until next time, keep those minds curious